On the spot news media, we got the latest news. We don't care about the views, we just representing right. Put local news internationally every night. On the spot, wave that Jamaican flag from left to right. Let's get it right, y'all know the type. We ain't dealing with the hype. We make it take flight.
Yeah, man, my viewers and subscribers, what one, a blessed and wonderful Wednesday morning to each and every person out there tuning into On The Spot News Media. Now, my peeps, I don't know how we do it over on this side each and every morning. We have to give thanks and praise to the Most High Creator for the preservation of life, because life is indeed the greatest. But for some reason, you know, my peeps, some people not see it that way there. I come on here every morning and I purposefully repeat that for a reason. Because I want people to understand the importance of life. But I want to look on the screen. I want to zoom in on it for a little minute. I want to take a deep, introspective look in what is on your screen. 655 people end up lose them 3 pints as of June 30, 2023. This is not inclusive of the knockings and clappings from police with criminal and police take out criminal. That not included in it. This is just we, the general public, take each other's lives. 27 knockings and clappings that has resulted in the loss of life of some people in 5 days, not 5 years, or 5 months, or even 5 weeks, but 5 days. I'm not the greatest of mathematicians, but the last time I checked, 5 equal to 25. So that simply means that more than 5 lose them life in a one day. And points to note, at least 12 from that 27 was committed in the parish of St. James between Friday, last Friday that is, and Monday of this week. And we sit and wonder why our country is in such shambles. As a nation, we have stepped away, renounced and denounced every shred of godliness that we have. So what do you expect to see? Do you expect to see a heaven on earth type of situation when everyone is swaying the way of immorality, the way of darkness, the way of evil? That is where our mindset is. As where most of us is saying no, a guzo the thing there. Some persons who have made those utterances probably really don't mean it, and probably has never gone to one. But when we feed this type of energy in the atmosphere and we take in all that musical nonsense in our souls, in our minds, in our bodies, it gives off that same energy into the atmosphere. And voila, it's playing out right before our very eyes. But I'm pretty sure by this point, many of you, the ones and ones them listening to the voice, is saying right now on the spot, yeah, chat too much. Get to the knockings and clappings, cause you know, see, that will come over that channel here for year. So without further ado, make we get into it. But before we reach to the dirt settings, we could look on them statistics here, provided by the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Now, the Jamaica Constabulary Force have on the screen right now the knockings and clappings committed in Jamaica. So the red section are gang violence. The navy blue section are interpersonal. The royal blue, I would say, or baby blue section is a continuation or furtherance of criminal acts. And the yellow section, not yet determined. So you can see our greatest problem, our gang conflicts. And of course, the other 5% in the baby blue, the furtherance of crime. So basically the reprisal knockings and clappings them, and you don't know anything where further something that already took place before. Now the Jamaica Constabulary Force has shown us seizures of firearms. So they are stating that there's an increase in the seizure of firearms since 2023. Commissioner Anderson reported that over 300 illegal guns have been seized so far and 556 persons arrested and charged under the new firearms legislation, and 484 of who were charged have been placed before the courts. So we definitely look to see the outcome in some of these cases, and of course On The Spot News Media is following up on it. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is this, and this is definitely of major concern to us, the regular members of Chan Public, because the Jamaica Constabulary Force crime stats is stating that major crimes are down. I'm not refuting the claim that it is down, but we, the general public, we now feel that sense of it there, like say crime is actually down. Well, the major crimes, which of course is knockings and clappings, and also the one them that results in the loss of life of people. They say that it is down by 16%, which may be a correct figure, but we, the general public, not feeling that, Mr. Commissioner and Mr. Prime Minister. We need to feel that sense that crime is down. We would like to see on the news one of them day where nobody no end up lose them 3 pints for a day or 2. But on the heels of you saying that, then come this. 27 people end up lose them 3 pints in 5 days. That's an atrocity within itself. Yeah, man. But anyway, I could get into the main set of stories. Now we are going to focus on the parish of St. James in the day here. And we are going to start off with a decent spot of work again by the squad of them. Then we are going to delve into 3 fatal knockings and clappings that took place over the weekend into this week. We are going to look upon them 3 specific one there and get deep into those knockings and clappings. So watch this now, my peeps. Police officers assigned to the St. James Police Division seized several rounds of ammunition and lottery scamming paraphernalia during a joint police military operation in Bogill, St. James on Tuesday, July 4th. Reports are that sometime between 3:30 a.m. and 7 a.m., lawmen conducted an intelligence-driven operation in the area during which a premises was searched. 156 rounds of ammunition were recovered and are sorted as follows: 49.44 rounds of ammunition, 64.380 rounds of ammunition, 42 8mm and 1 9mm rounds of ammunition. In addition to this, over 25 lead sheets, one cellular phone containing identity information were also found inside a bedroom. No one was arrested for this seizure. The investigation continues. So I guess by the time the squad of them reached there, the house empty or something, because them say nobody that get arrested. But anyway, make we move on. Now we are gonna look upon 3 knockings and clappings. The first one will go on Saturday night of a man known as Chad. Now Chad is from the Mount Salem community. We all know what has been happening in the Mount Salem community for the past couple of months. So the latest casualty we come from that era is a man known as Chad. Chad is presently on your screen. Now when On The Spot News Media did some investigation, it was revealed to On The Spot News Media that Chad was a scammer, heavily mixed up in a lot of things. Not necessarily a knockis and clappis, but a scammer nonetheless. So he funds criminality from his scamming money. And I don't want some of us to be fooled, because criminal elements who were friends before they become enemies knows it all. And Chad was definitely marked for death. So I'm pretty sure his family members, his supporters, will refute the claim. But as always, On The Spot News Media is here to bring you the undiluted truth. So Chad fell victim because of his actions. Now where his knockings and clappings took place. His knockings and clappings took place at a place known as Salt Spring Road, over an area known as Tenement. And we get to understand that it is coming from the likes of Mobay's Most Wanted, St. James' Most Wanted, in fact, Western Jamaica's Most Wanted, a criminal element known as Bruk-Han. If it's the first you're hearing that name, the person presently on your screen, known as O'Shane Francis, but more popularly known in the criminal underworld as Bruk-Han, is the man that I'm speaking of. Now this criminal element is wanted not just by the police, but also by rival factions. He is definitely marked for death. It just depends on who catch him first. So there's a lot to this story than what actually meets the eye. And as in Chad's knockings and clappings, we have some names, we have some faces. We're just confirming certain things before your identities is released. Now, the so-called Don, a man that goes by the name of Tupac, from over the West Side Rosemount community, you are one of the key persons under investigation. And the part that you played in the knockings and clappings of Chad will be revealed in short order. And to your accomplices, they know themselves. I will not say their name just yet. But the part that you played will also be exposed. Yeah, man. So now we are going to talk about the next knockings and clappings. Now, this one go on round a dead end road. So you know, say bottom road, dead end road, right there so. Of this taxi operator known as Bolo. Now we did our checks, we did our research, and Bolo is a known taxi operator that run charter during the day, charter only, because him no want the squad of them take away him ride. And as it touch midnight, when fare prices double up, that is when Bolo touch the streets. Now Bolo is not a Nackis and Clappis. Hands down, not a Nackis and Clappis. But he gets himself involved in certain things, probably because of where he lives, and him no want nobody say, you know, him now work with the system type of thing. But he's not a bad boy in terms of a trigger man in the streets. But more time when the Nackis and Clappis them want to reach upon a certain ends, them will shout up Bolo and them will carry them. So that can be one of two things. He can be aligned with them as an enabler, or because he's from a certain area, lives in a certain area, him no want the man them have him off. So him just bring them for bring them sake. But anyway, he was tricked by criminal elements and taken out in a hail of bullets Monday night, Bottom Road. Now that in itself opened a whole can of worms, because even though he's not of a certain character and he's not indulged in criminal activities, he has persons who is of that life and has sworn to avenge his death. Now his knockings and clappings again is coming from the likes of Bruk-Han. Now we have names and faces also of the alleged Nackis and Clappis. But of course we have to do due diligence and make sure when we present that it is presented the right way. And of course we have to give the squad of them some time for the feed them thing also before we make certain information public. Now the common factor in them two knockings and clappings there with Chad and that of Bolo, both from Salem, and the hit is coming from the Bruk-Han faction. And of course Chad and Bolo were pretty much good friends. Now, the next knockings and clappings that we are going to talk about go on Monday night down at Glendevon. Yeah, man. Bottom Pen, to be exact. So sometime around 11:30 in the night, we get to understand, say, two men who are allegedly brothers go make a step and ClapWeh this 23-year-old youth who has since been identified as Nickoy Dove. Now everyone is tight-lipped as to why the man them got dirt Nickoy. But everyone is pointing fingers on the Nackis and Clappis. Well, on the Spot News Media is not just interested in who did the dirt, but we're also interested in the personality, the person who lost his life. Because the who is important, but the why is just as important. So I will not release the who until I have determined the why as to the demise of Nickoy Dove. So definitely you will be getting a follow-up vlog on them three knockings and clappings here. And persons living in the Mount Salem community on either side of the war, whichever side of the fence you fall on, brace yourself for reprisal. because it is promised that reprisals will take place for the life of Chad and also for the life of Bolo. And family members who are not involved, please, may I beg you, take on yourself, because your life too is in serious danger. So again, my peeps, a word to the wise is definitely sufficient. So anyway, remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned to On The Spot News Media as I continue to bring you fresh news and updates in subsequent newscast. On The Spot News Media. Yeah, man.